Why does America want Greenland? The hidden power game nobody talks about. Most people think Greenland is just ice, a frozen land, empty, silent, forgotten. But what if I told you this frozen island could decide the future of global power, trade, military dominance, and even space control? What if I told you powerful nations are quietly positioning themselves around this island, not for today, but for the next 50 years? And what if I told you America's interest in Greenland is not new, not accidental, and not just political drama? It's part of a long-term strategic game that few people truly understand. Stay with me, because by the end of this story, Greenland will never look like just ice again. Greenland is the largest island on Earth. It sits between North America and Europe, touching both the Arctic Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. It looks remote, but in reality it sits at the crossroads of the modern world. Whoever controls influence here can see the world before the world sees them. And this is exactly why America has been watching Greenland for more than a century. Let's go back in time. After the United States purchased Alaska, American leaders realized something important. The North was no longer a barrier. It was becoming a bridge. During World War II, Greenland suddenly became critical. German submarines moved through the Atlantic. Weather patterns over the Arctic affected bombing missions in Europe. The United States built bases in Greenland to protect supply routes and track enemy movement. Greenland became America's invisible shield. Then came the Cold War. Missiles could cross the planet over the North Pole in minutes. Early warning became life or death. Radar systems placed in Greenland could detect incoming threats before they reached North America. This meant Greenland wasn't just land, it was time to respond, time to survive. Even today, America maintains powerful military systems there. But here's where the story becomes more interesting. In the modern world, war is no longer only about soldiers and tanks. It is about data, satellites, trade routes, minerals, energy, and positioning. Greenland touches all of them. First, let's talk about location. Greenland sits between three powerful zones: North America, Europe, and the Arctic. As climate change melts Arctic ice, new sea routes are opening. Ships can travel faster between Asia and Europe. This means new trade highways are forming across the top of the planet. In the future, these routes could reshape global shipping, the same way canals reshaped trade centuries ago. Whoever controls access points gains leverage over global commerce. Greenland sits near these routes like a silent gatekeeper. Now imagine military aircraft, submarines, satellites, and surveillance systems operating in this region. Greenland becomes a natural observation tower. It allows monitoring of airspace, ocean movement, and even space traffic. Information equals power, and Greenland offers information advantage. But location alone is not the only reason. Under Greenland's ice lies something even more valuable: resources. Rare earth minerals, critical metals, and potential energy reserves are believed to exist beneath the surface. These materials are essential for modern technology: phones, electric vehicles, renewable energy systems, advanced weapons, satellites, and artificial intelligence hardware. Today, the world depends heavily on limited sources for these materials. This creates vulnerability. If access is disrupted, entire industries slow down. Greenland represents future independence from these vulnerabilities. Even if mining is difficult today, technology will improve, ice will retreat, infrastructure will grow. The real question is not whether Greenland will become valuable, it is when. And whoever secures partnerships and influence early will control the future flow of these materials. But there's another layer most people don't realize. Space. Many satellites pass over polar regions. Ground stations in Greenland can communicate with satellites frequently. This improves navigation systems, weather monitoring, military surveillance, and global communication networks. In a world where space dominance equals strategic dominance, Greenland becomes a critical node. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Global rivalry. The world is entering a new era of competition between major powers. Influence is expanding into regions that were once ignored: the Arctic, deep oceans, space, and digital networks. Every power wants positioning advantage. If any rival power gains deep influence near North America's northern gateway, it creates strategic risk. America does not want to wake up one day and find strategic infrastructure near its borders controlled by competitors. From Washington's perspective, Greenland is not distant. It is close. It is part of America's security perimeter. That is why interest intensifies whenever global tensions rise. But here is where the story becomes complicated. Greenland is not empty land. It is home to people. They have identity, culture, political voice, and growing dreams of independence. They do not want to be treated like a chess piece. When powerful countries talk about buying or controlling land, it creates backlash, protest, and distrust. Sovereignty matters. Self-determination matters. Even allies can disagree when strategic ambitions become too aggressive. This creates a delicate balance between security and respect. Power without legitimacy creates resistance. Smart influence requires cooperation, investment, partnership, and trust. Now let me ask you something. What happens when ice melts faster than politics can adapt? What happens when shipping routes open faster than international rules can regulate? What happens when resources become accessible before agreements are ready? This is where future conflict risk increases. Greenland sits at the center of this transition. It represents opportunity and uncertainty at the same time. America wants to make sure it is not reacting later. It wants to be positioned now. Because history teaches one brutal lesson. Those who arrive late pay higher prices. Those who prepare early shape the rules. But there is still a deeper psychological layer. Greenland represents security psychology. Throughout history, great powers always try to control buffer zones around themselves. Oceans, mountains, deserts, and ice have always been natural defenses. Greenland is part of North America's protective shield. If influence there weakens, insecurity grows. That is why even symbolic discussions about Greenland create strong reactions. It touches national instinct. Now imagine a future where Arctic cities grow, ports expand, undersea cables multiply, and energy hubs develop. Greenland could become a logistics hub connecting continents. It could become a digital gateway. It could become an energy corridor. It could become a strategic command center. The frozen island of today could become the crossroads of tomorrow. And that is why America watches it closely. Not loudly, not always publicly, but constantly. Yet there is one more truth. The future of Greenland should belong to its people. Real stability comes from cooperation, not control. Partnership creates lasting influence. Ownership creates resistance. The smartest strategy is not possession, it is alignment. If Greenland grows with strong institutions, transparent investment, environmental responsibility, and international cooperation, everyone benefits. If competition becomes aggressive, tension will grow. So Greenland is not just a story of ambition. It is a test of how humanity manages new frontiers. Will power dominate wisdom? Or will cooperation shape the future? The ice is melting, the world is watching, and Greenland is no longer silent.